Why is the Americano the best first drink to have, especially here at Cafe de Bola? And why is the Americano the drink that you should judge your coffee shop by? Well, let me tell you. So, an Americano is all about fundamentals and execution. And it starts with great espresso. Now, there are two camps, generally, in the coffee world. So, if you go into what appears to be a really nice coffee shop, there's going to be the ones that are focused primarily on their espresso. And you're going to go in and you're going to have the espresso, and it's going to be a delicious espresso. Espresso is a very sexy drink. And for the other side, what other rented lips here. So the other side is the latte side, the latte art side. So you see some beautiful latte art, not so much focused on the espresso, but the latte art is beautiful. It's a very sexy drink. You know, it's gonna turn some heads. You know, if you got a dragon carrying a horse in a wagon down by the river, you know, 3 apples being juggled by a swan, something like that. So some nice latte art. And so those are the two sides. Neither of them is really necessarily focused on the fundamentals of an Americano. It's a very simple drink which really tells you about what sort of training have the barista had, and do they care? So that Americano, why are those details so critical? Well, the Americano and how they execute it will tell you everything that you need to know about that coffee shop, that they're paying attention to details. A lot of places, they have fantastic espresso on first appearance. But if you get an Americano there, it might not be very good, because maybe they're pulling water straight off their boiler on their espresso machine. They're using water that's too hot. Excuse me, I'm going to cough on air, and that's quite amazing. They're going to they're going to brew separately into a cup and pour it into the water. Now that's a huge no, because you're losing all that crema, and then you got another cup to wash. Who does that? I don't know. So, Americano, as I mentioned before, you want to use water that's lower temperature than the espresso that you're brewing. And remember, if you're brewing at 200, your espresso isn't 200 degrees, because as it exits the group head, it's dropping down to, like, say 192. So you really got to be like 180 and below. And some people will say 160 to 170. I usually like 170-ish. So that's a good starting point. Secondarily, you know, brew directly into the water on a hot Americano. We'll talk about ice things another time. Brew directly into the water, because the natural gravity will help those oils to penetrate the water, and they will naturally mix, and making lots of tastiness in there, leaving behind the beautiful crema, which you want. An Americano is not a coffee. You want that nice little crema to have the enjoyment of all those tiny little bubbles with their aromatics, creating this beautiful blanket for your tongue. And it prepares you for the rest of the drink, just like it does with an espresso. So go out, find your favorite place, which probably really should be Cafe de Bola if you're thinking about really awesome coffee. But go out, get yourself an Americano, and say, wow, that was a good Americano. I feel great now. Have an awesome day. Happy Americano.